everyone. Welcome to, oh, thank you, yes. All right, so thank you so much. Welcome to Earth Talks. Really exciting to see you all here. This is a special kind of version of Earth Talks that we haven't had as engaging of a workshop as we are going to have today. So we're really excited to have Karen and her team here. My name is Tanya. If you don't know me, my pronouns are she, her. I work for the Biosphere Institute. And we host these Earth Talks every month. So last month we had Dr. Hilary Young come speak about wildlife corridors. And next month we will be talking all about soil and composting. So if you want to have a little fun and learn and have a little voice relay, then come next month as well. Usually these are free, but today your fee, thank you so much for all coming, is going towards all the materials. So yeah, just before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we're gathering here in the territory of the 1877 Treaty 7 signatories, comprised of the Yarkana Nakota, including Chiniki, Goodstoney, and Bearspaw Nations, the Blackfoot Confederacy, including the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai Nations, Tsuut'ina Nation, and home to the Rocky View Métis District 4 within the Battle River Territory. And I also just wanted to share and thank so much Karen, Hal, Darcy, and Jess, who have all gathered, and the other day were working really hard in their garage workshop. So thank you for all the work that you've done to make this happen. And Karen here is going to share for about 10 minutes or so a little bit more about this. Karen is the president of the Bow Valley Clean Air Society. So the Bow Valley Clean Air Society is a volunteer nonprofit society based right here in Canmore, established in 2002. And I'll let Karen share the rest. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you so much, Jenny. So this workshop, Build Your Own Indoor Air Filter, is a joint endeavor between Bow Valley Clean Air Society and the Biosphere, and also with generous support for materials from Canadian Tire. So they provided $500. So just a little presentation, since we're all on the right footing. Why are we gonna build our own indoor air quality filter? So two reasons. It's wildfire season and it's virus. Okay, so you can during wildfire season have your furnace running, not the heater, but the fan with a filter on it, and turn off the outdoor intake. And so you're just recycling the air in your house through your furnace filter. Or so you could build one of these or buy something like this. This one here is worth about $240. I got it about 3 years ago. And during wildfire season, I was turning it on a couple of hours before bed, running it on high. I'll show you that. You hear that? So it has two settings, freight train and a sleep mode, which I call ineffectual. So anyway, so wildfires are becoming a bit more common in Bow Valley, and they can injure you and kill you. You probably noticed sometime last year that you couldn't even see hauling. So the outdoor air quality was very poor at those times. I think the limit is 80 micrograms per cubic meter, is that right? Al? 80? 80 for 1 hour. 29 for 24 hours. So there were times in the Bow Valley where we exceeded the 80 for 1 hour for days by 6 to 10 times. Okay. So at those times, you know, people who are most vulnerable, children, older adults, people with respiratory or heart problems. And your only refuge is to go in your house, once the authorities say, go in your house, close the windows and doors, and, you know, stay there. Or there are places like, I think Elevation Place is a place to come to for some respite. So it's just really important to keep your house, the air clean as you can. So that's one of the reasons why we want to have one of these running for this. If you can handle the noise, I turn it on, put my earplugs in. But I like these better because they're quiet and they can run all night long. So you can supplement your house filtration with one of these portable air filters. It's for virus and wildfire smoke. So you can call this a Mach 2, where the Mach 1 is actually called the Percy Rosenthal box. It was developed in 2020 in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. So it was developed to actually filter out virus. Okay, the virus particles and wildfire particles are very small, but similar. So this will work for virus and wildfire. You can build one for about a third the cost of a commercial model, and it's going to be a lot quieter. So this is what the Percy Rosenthal box looks like. It's basically just four filters, four MERV 13 filters, with a box fan on top, and it just all duct taped together. And I watched a video where a 10-year-old boy put one together. Easy. The only downfall I think with this is that it's always a couple things. It's a bit noisy. You can buy quieter box fans, but it tends to be noisy. And it's also a bit bulky. So you can use different size filters around the square there, but you know, for a bedroom, it works great in the classroom, but I think for a bedroom, it's just a little big. There's different designs have been coming out over the last few years. The first one there is, I think, one of the first designs that used the computer fans, which is what we're using, because they're very quiet. So instead of a big box fan on top, there's computer fans at the top, but still the same MERV 13 filters all the way around. The second picture there is one, you know, and you can use any size of filter, right? And so this is for a car. And I think this will be my next project, is to build one for a camper van, because I remember last summer traveling through BC and through some smoky areas and pulling into a campground and wishing that I had this with me or something. The vehicles. And the third picture is getting closer to what this design is that you're going to be building today. These are kits that you can buy. It looks the same, you know, pretty much the same, but you know, they run at $200, $300, $400. Buy a kit, put it together, or you can just do one of these. This design was actually worked and developed by Jess Harding at the back there. The one that worked out all the parts. And this is what it looks like. MERV 13 filters is what we're using. The MERV way to rate filters. What you have in your house is probably going to be a MERV 8. And the MERV 8 is there mostly just to protect the motor on your furnace. It really doesn't do much for you. So if you want to do anything for you, you're going to need at least a MERV 13. I have a friend building a house, a passive house actually. He's using MERV 60 on his air handling system. MERV 13 will remove household dust, dust mites, mold spores, pollen. So this would be good if anybody has any spring allergies. handles the bacteria, virus, respiratory droplets, and PM2.5 and wildfire smoke. Just a word about the difference between a HEPA filter and a MERV 13. So once you get into a MERV 17, you're looking at HEPA. So that's high efficiency particulate air filter. This one has a HEPA filter in it. Okay, but what you're going to be building today has a MERV 13. A HEPA filter in the range for virus and wildfire smoke removes about 50%. Whereas a HEPA filter removes 99.97, whereas the MERV 13 removes about 50%. But, here's my little description. So the red one here, the little red one, that's COVID virus. And the one right next to it, that gold one, that's the wildfire smoke. So they're pretty close to size, same size, and they're pretty small. So the Corsi Rosenthal box with the MERV 13 filters have been shown to outperform HEPA air cleaners in particle removal on all particle sizes. And why is that? Okay, so that's the research. So why aren't we building the HEPA filter? You're probably wondering. It's because filters are rated for a one-time pass-through. Okay, so one-time pass-through with all these particles in it. HEPA filter will remove 99.97%, whereas the MERV 13 will remove 50%. But the thing is, in use, in practical use, it's sitting in a room, and the first time through, it'll remove 50%. The next time through, it'll remove another 50%. Okay, and it keeps cycling through. So in an hour, I calculated what the volume of air that will go through this with 4 fans running, and it removes 250 or so cubic feet per minute. So in my bedroom, which is a 12 by 14 space, 8 feet high, it will cycle the volume of air in my bedroom every 6 minutes. That's pretty good. Every 6 minutes, all the air in my bedroom goes through the filter. So the first time it goes through, it moves 50%. Second time through, another 50% of what's left, right? So in no time, within an hour or two, you're down to what the HEPA filter would be doing at less cost. And the MERV 13 filter has less static pressure than the HEPA filter, so you don't need as much power on fan to get that moving. What is CADR? So that's the clean air delivery rate. This is how commercial units like this are compared. So they have a rating. It's the airflow times the filter efficiency. Okay, so if when you're shopping for one of these, you look at the CADR rating and you can compare apples to apples. Okay, but it does not consider power usage, does not consider noise level, and it does not consider what I was just talking about, this multiple passes, like in real world use. Okay. So for instance, energy use comparison, the original Corsi Rosenthal box would cost about $14 over 2 months to run. The commercial model with the HEPA filter would cost you $5.60. And the foam board one that we are building today, $2.42. Noise level, commercial models on high, 50 to 65 decibels. The one we're building is each fan, I think it's about 25 decibels. We measured when we built them in Hell's basement. All 4 of them running were about, was it 32, 33 decibels? That's still the level of a whisper. It's something that, you can live with when you're sleeping. The research, Percy Rosenthal have done experiments verifying that one box fan effectively removes particulates from a whole classroom. The MERV 13 can usually reach higher CADR with less noise and energy than the true HEPA filter. Homes that used air filters, in addition to closing windows and doors, were able to cut the amount of those tiny PM2.5 particles floating inside them by 2 to 3 times, according to research from the University of California. The study of home-built air purifier to remove wildfire smoke using Percy Rosenthal showed that particulate matter between 1 and 10 micrometers in size was reduced by about 75%. Impact of wildfire smoke events on indoor air quality and evaluation of a low-cost filtration method is linked there. I can send that to you if you're interested in that. So, I mean, California's been having a lot of wildfires in the last 10 years. They're ahead of most of us, and they often get to do their research ahead of us. So there is actually research on going in your house to escape the outdoor air quality, close your doors, close your windows. And it's shown that within a day or two, the inside air is about as bad as the outside air. Of course, it really depends on your building envelope, how old your house is, how weak your walls are. But it's still, you know, it'll protect your walls of your house will protect you for a while, but not for the long term. So you really do need to do some indoor filtration to clean them. Questions? And I'm anticipating some questions like, how long do the filters last? So that is a good question. I guess it depends on how smoky it is or what your purpose is. So if you can look at them, if they look dirty, it might be time to replace. If we get another month-long wildfire smoke where you can just barely see the outline of hauling, then I would probably replace the filters after about a month. Yes, Jess?
Last year, for 6 months, or so, the test floor is the cleanups. Roll the cleanups in front of the filter. There's enough air moving that it pulls the cleanups. It's good. And that falls out from the filter. The engineering
Engineering practices. Is there a fan speed control? No. It's either on or off. Okay. What is the airflow through the filter? So I think I mentioned each fan does 66 cubic feet per minute, 4 fans, 265. Cleans the bedroom every 6 minutes. Now I know that portable air filter sitting in a room will tend to recycle the air that's closest to it first. It's not going to grab the air over in that far corner right away. But because of the physics of random particle movements, if this air is clean and that has more particles in it, that it's just a physics thing. It moves from an area of lots of particles to none. So it'll eventually move over and get filtered. And has this air filter design been tested and certified? Has been tested. There is research online, but it's not been certified. Are there any other questions before we get going? Karen, have a question?
So when you talk about it moving the air in your bedroom, is that what the door closed or open?
Oh, well, the door closed. Yeah.
So if you had it open.
That would mean I'd be grabbing air from the hallway sometimes. Yeah. And it would probably take longer to get it to a lower state. I have a similar problem at home. I have a cat that goes in and out. So, and it throws all the research out on. Yes?
So my place, in fact, I have my airflow. Change filters all over the house. So I have the fan on the front of the fan on the circuit. covers all year round, so
That's your,
that's one sitting in any room, because those old rooms have returned air to the furnace. So eventually, so quite often cats go all the way through, on the units. But the grills are all, so cats not. It's very interesting. More babies are going to.
any other questions?
I'd be curious about, so this is obviously the climate change adaptation, what we're doing today, but there might be an element of mitigation also. So if you're looking at the carbon footprint of this design versus that design, this one is assembled from fewer materials, fewer hydrocarbon-based materials, I think, is that a plastic base?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to give some homework to like a really smart retired engineer. Oh, there's one. To,
Aren't you a retired engineer?
yeah, but, to quantify the difference in carbon footprints between the two zones.
Well, you don't have to look at the, we have to look at carbon and health based on usage. The heat filter is too loud, turned off. So it's got 0% effect in its waste of all that carbon. That's going on compound in the use study before. And if you measure the usage, it's in the outdoor value of the gram of plastic. That was,
Yeah, and probably less plastic too, right?
oh yeah, yeah, if you just pick them up.
Thanks.
And the fence should last a long time, but they're the one to 6 years. But it was changing there.
Thanks, Jess. Anybody else? For any other questions? We can, yeah, we should start. So it's the end of the presentation portion. No, we're just gonna help, so